Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Hidden Breach and the second episode of the Malifaux Trashtalk. This time, we're going to talk about the new Resurrectionists models from the Ashes of Malifaux book. And with me today are Quickitt and QTPierogi. Quickitt, would you be so kind as to introduce yourself to our viewers?
Hello, I'm Quickitt. I am from the Netherlands. I started wargaming when I was 14. I played Skaven in Warhammer Fantasy. I did that up until I went to college, and then I dropped it altogether. Then I was done with college. I got some disposable income, and now I no longer have disposable income.
That's the way the money goes, all out of the window for plastic. Amazing. So you wear a red fancier in your use. Very good. Okay, and on the other hand, we got QTPierogi with us this evening. Cutie, can you say something about yourself, how you met wargaming and how you find Malifaux in the end?
Yep, hello, I'm Pierogi. I come from far Ural part of Russia. So I started also wargaming in 14 with 40k. I met Malifaux somewhere in high school. When the fourth book came out in second edition. So when basically Riva came out, and she was my first master, and I kept playing for this time.
Amazing. What was the thing you played in your youth in high school?
I was playing first of all some Necrons, and then Chaos Space Marines.
Okay. So the dark side of the cake. Very good. Amazing. And this has landed you to more or less in the end at Malifaux and Resurrectionists. Cool. So now we got some new models from the new book. And we're going to take a look at it and talk through it, what your thoughts are about the list and so forth. So let's start in the order there in the book. And the first model that our eyes will see is the Leftovers model from the Experimental and Transmortis keyword. So who's going to throw down the gauntlet and say something about this new model?
Yeah, I'll say something about it.
Go on.
I'll give a lukewarm take that this is probably the strongest model we got as for Resers.
Okay, I'm listening.
It just looks very good, right? There are a few important things. It's a construct. That's kind of important for McMorning, where if you charge it with your McMorning 2, I'm talking about. Where if you charge it with your attack, then it will drop a scrap marker, which you can then use to give your Rogue Necromancy flurry. Before this, you had to hire another flesh construct or some other construct. And none of that is really what you want to hire, although the flesh construct can sometimes be good. But this guy does a lot. First of all, his demise is kind of bonkers.
Yeah.
He replaces into 2 Bisection models. It's a replace. This kind of works similar to the duet, right? Where you gain activation control if the opponent is foolish enough to kill it. The problem is that with his other abilities, things like Futile Struggle and his attacks, it's difficult to ignore. Mm-hmm. And I think there are more or less 2 routes where what you can do. You can put some extra legs on this guy, charge in and hit with the plus on damage, hit severe of 6 on his Another Mouth to Feed with 2 excellent triggers. And then otherwise you can put some extra heads on him for Chatty, and you do Rancid Smell, and you just sit in your opponent's crew and make it difficult for them to do anything. So this guy's got more or less 2 roles for you to do. And then there is one more reason why I like this guy a lot in McMorning 2. It is that so normally the way you play McMorning 2 is you have you either hire a zombie or you summon a zombie. You load it up with poison, it explodes, it drops 3 corpse markers, and from that point your corpse engine starts going. If you hire a zombie, you get an activation from the zombie, and it can attack something twice and load up on some poison by standing into a marker or attacking something with bloated stench. And that gets it to poison 3 much easier. It means that the Chihuahua doesn't have to do everything on its activation to blow it up, which can go wrong. In this case, you usually like to summon a zombie because it often comes with a model that is also nice, like the Emissary or one of the newer models we will talk later about, Ezekiel.
Yeah, the fixed Asura. Okay, well, carry on.
The better Asura, yeah. And this guy's got oozing mass, so you summon a zombie, he runs over the zombie, it will get poison +2, and then the Chihuahua will have no difficulty killing it with poison 3 and kickstart the train. So not only does he make your corpse engine better, he will also give you a scrap marker to go for, and he has some excellent actions.
Yeah.
And I have difficulty seeing why I would not hire this guy.
Okay, fair. QT, do you have any thoughts about this model in addition to what Quickitt just said?
Oh yeah. First of all, probably the demise is the first thing people watch when they look at this model. Some people even claimed how broken it is because of that demise. But it was noticing that unless other demises, it can be countered by burning conditions because it specifically says that this model should be killed by an enemy model. And it's also pretty weak against a base because if friendly model kills this model, your demise doesn't work. And considering how often, according to Screw, have a very low willpower, it would be very likely to do so. But otherwise, I really love the Futile Struggle because I personally have a little of hate for all models with butterfly jump. So we have finally some tool against that outside of Manas, which is not often, not every time in the table, even if pretty often. And also that, the only sad part about this model is that it's much worse than Professor Van Stoop, because unlike Rogue Necromancy, it doesn't have any ways to give itself poison, so it will most likely die to conditions. Because usually your poison counters the berry damage.
Yes.
Thanks to Keyword's ability to reverse metabolism. Plus, the one thing why this model is much better than Mechanic 2 is because you can make it more AP efficient with your upgrades. I think, first of all, you look not at legs, but on extra arms, because otherwise this model just move 6 with using max and do 1 action, and it's bonus, and that's all. But with some flurry, you can have 3 AP activation, which is really good considering its attack.
All right. Yeah.
Plus, the only thing I want to say that Transmell actually, in my opinion, very bad ability. It's not worth spending action on it. But using mass is really great because you can use it also to skim, because it's just free move without any flip to leave any engagement, which is just too strong.
Okay. Yeah, although with the legs, right, you can use oozing mass. You just move out of engagement and then you charge in again, so you get that plus flip again.
Yeah, but I think because of using mass, you don't care about much movement too. Because you already have semi-rush with it. It's already faster than moving with your movement of 5. So +1 move difference is not that much.
So if I understand correctly, the discussion right now is about if another attack via flurry is better than getting the charge through bonus to the damage flip on the another mouth to feed. Wouldn't that probably depend on who you're up against? Like if the
it depends on target.
Plus 2 damage will give you the straight flip you need to push the 6 damage through, or if more attacks would be better because your opponent has hard to wound or something, for example. Okay. So you both see ways to do it. Nice of you to point out that the demise can be countered by obeys and conditions. I would have actually missed this on the first read through again. Cool. So this seems to be a must hire now, or at least it's an often hire in McMorning 2. It also has another keyword printed on its card, which is Transmortis. Do you guys see any use in the Transmortis keyword with this thing?
Yeah, as I already said, it's much worse than Transmortis because you don't have any ways to give it poison as first problem. And second, that's Transmortis already is pretty tight on what models you like to take, so I don't think it's that much necessary. So it's still nice, I guess, for Professor Van Stuk 2, but the second model after this one will be really interesting for Transmortis.
Yeah.
Compared to experimental.
The second model.
Yeah, the bisection. But
the split models. Okay, so
Yes.
Let's wrap up the leftovers and jump over to the bisection.
Yeah, I do think this is. I don't think it's ever a bad model. So, but the question is, if would I hire a Viscera over leftovers or vice versa? And I think you would usually go for a Viscera, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean as well.
Yeah, I think Viscera is more consistent in the putting out damage, and the bonus actions are better on the Viscera, and he has Rush, so he would probably be better operating alone. I mean, you can give the leftovers focus with Fungal 1 if you pulls it out, but nah. I can't really see me taking this in Fungal with my limited Fungal experience.
Well, I guess only case is if we play older schemes, like how's it called? Claim Jump, because easy demise basically says you don't want to kill me, because if opponent doesn't have counter, he will just ignore this model. Unless you are just a mean person who will not say about what his demise does.
Okay, yeah, fair. Yeah, I'm looking at this GG right now. Yeah, let's jump to the bisection then, if you got takes on this. So this is what the leftovers split into, and they are parts of the whole, so they cannot be hired into any of those crew. You gotta hire the leftovers, and the leftover has to be killed by an enemy model to gain these models. So what are you guys' thoughts about these?
Well, there's a few things, right? So
yes.
The first thing is note that these guys are not insignificant. That is a big thing. They can work for strats, they can work for schemes. And then the biggest thing, which I think QT also was going to say, is that these guys can be summoned by Fungal 1.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
That's the main point. So basically, Fungal 1 will now be able to summon basically from any kill instead of only from cost 6 or upwards.
Well, to be fair, Necropansk also at cost 5.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, if they still survive, you have another option to summon, which is great.
Okay, fair. So what's the sale pitch for me playing Fungal 1, killing a model with the pumped up Viscera or Valedictorian, and then turning the kill into a bisection instead of a Necropunk? Why would I do that? What's good about those?
Well, mainly I think it's just you already have all your Necropunks surviving because it's not that uncommon to have 3 Necropunks on the start.
Okay, just to pile more models on the table. That's what you're saying. Okay, yeah, fair.
Especially, I think they much better than the 6 Stones model. How's it called? Let me check.
We forgot how it's
Undergraduate.
Called. Yeah, we forgot how it called when it lost by your side. Basically. Okay. Back in the day. Okay, so this also got bloated stench. It has basically the same demise, only it turns into yet another model, and it also has hard to wound.
And it has Uzin Mass as well, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, it's attack really good if you ever see this model on the table, because I don't think you'll ever see it on the table by your demise. But having Touch Madness is crazy. Just crazy trigger. Especially for a minion.
Yes. Fair.
it's a bit of a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing. I think it's never worth it for your opponent to kill the leftovers. These things will ruin their day, and then when they die, some what I think actually crazy things come out.
Yeah, fair. It was my thought. I was thinking about, okay, I play against McMorning. He's doing the McMorning Durdle and summoning cycle, and then I got this thing, and I don't really want to invest into this thing because it's bogging me down even more than the crew was bogging me down before, and it's bogging me down anyway. So I don't think it's going to be pleasant playing against this. Okay, Oozing Mass sounds fun. Got Lecture Notes, which is the box standard Transmortis bonus action. Cool.
Which is also great. You don't need to hire Valedictorian anymore unless you just want stat 7.
Oh, fair. Seems good. The melee action looks kind of box standard, but as you said, one of the triggers is amazing, and the others I think are fine for something you get for free, basically.
I think also throw your arm at them, also a great trigger.
Yep.
And in fact, it's also just box standard trigger for experimental keywords. So
yeah, so
it's nice that it's built in.
I mean, we are talking about a free model, so
yeah,
but it's probably good. Okay,
we are actually talking about 2 free models.
Oh yeah, we're talking about 2 free models. Okay, let's talk about 4 free models, shall we? Let's jump to the last bite.
This stuff is stupid, man.
Yeah. I was. I saw,
imagine going as far as killing all this stuff so far. Yeah. We have gone through 16 wounds.
Yeah.
And then we get this shit.
Yeah.
Look at this guy, man. It's still significant somehow. This eyeball can drop a ski marker, and then look at this guy. Okay, he has got 0 movement. All right, fine. I got
still in mass. Still,
yeah, whatever, man. And this dude has somehow projectile vomit. Like, okay, it's stat 4 instead of stat 5, but it's still projectile vomit. And it's got a crazy ass tactical action that just makes things be ignored for schemes and strategies. Like, what is even going on?
Yeah, that is horrible. You kill like 6. Yeah, you shoot to 16 wounds, and then you got 4 of those. So you get either 8 projectile vomits, or you have an 4 times 2 inch. No, 4 times, what is it now? 5-inch bubble of no interact and being ignored. I think that's pretty horrible.
Well, to be fair, I think on actual table you'll never see this model split because opponent will either ignore leftovers, so he'll have some tools to deal with it, either by obey, by ignoring demises, or by just turning off its healing until the end of turn, because there is more tech and other factions thanks to this book. So it's crazy model, right? But actually it's kind of counterable, or you can just ignore it, but it will be very annoying if you ignore it because of no living base contact with outside of disengage action.
Yeah. Fair. I think it's probably the question how aggressive you play the bisections, right? If you like really ram them into your opponent's face, he has to.
Well, if you get bisections,
I think it's the question. If you got really experienced players, they're probably not gonna fall for it. But if you can, anger someone into killing those, you're gonna have a lot of fun afterwards because.
And it's still activation control, right?
Yeah.
It's just so stupid on a bisection.
Well, potentially. If you somehow can get enemy models on 3 poison, you can obey them with yours just to try to charge the leftovers to get its demise done. But otherwise, on the actual play, we don't have, I think, that good obey stuff to force opponent to give our demise. But yeah, usually I don't think we'll see it split.
Okay. Sad. I don't know. I was a bit disappointed by the design of all these models, apart from the last bite, which I think is
last bite is
perfect, the perfect model for a McMorning crew. Like this.
Yeah, I think actually, if you mean the visual design, right? No.
Yeah, the visual design. This is the pinnacle of McMorning's art. It's just boiled down to the essentials. Okay.
Yeah, Loftor is also pretty good, but I'm not a fan of this big cartoonish mouses. I think it would be better if it just was a lot of bodies piled in.
Yeah,
I mean, the leftovers is also kind of lazy. I mean, you see it holding like one lecture notes, like, "Hello, I'm also a Transmortis model." Hello.
Yeah. It's the hey, we gotta put it in another keyword. Let's print some lecture notes on it.
And Bisection is I think the worst one because I don't like the fact that it looks for some reason like a humanoid.
Yeah, I don't know how the transformation process seems really.
Well, actually, we don't know the full art, but if it has legs, it's turning me off.
Yeah, we'll see how the storyline goes as well. I mean, to be fair, it's probably better to give McMorning some more tools than buffing Transmortis further, because Transmortis seems to have everything that it needed. And if you guys say this is gonna make McMorning even more annoying to play against, then that's probably good. So this it is for Experimental and Transmortis. Are we ready to jump into the next chapter?
Yeah, I think so.
Very good. So the next chapter being Forgotten and Red Chapel. I can't believe that they put those two keywords together yet again, but okay. It seems thematic because the next model pretty much looks like a Gorgon. And the next model is the Strange Lady, which is a 10 soulstone living henchman. Any one of you two have an idea what to do with this one?
Yeah, let's bring some salt for this video at last.
I was waiting for it.
Because let's see 10 stones for disappointment on our Mr. Nagatoro we have at home. But for some reason, most models that does basically the same, but it costs much more. Even consider that it's not versatile first. And on top, if you read this card, you realize that you must take Viscera model, unless you're playing Seamus 2. Because the most important ability on this card is Kiss of Death. So when this model, once the controller's model has 3 or fewer cards in its control hand, this model receives masks towards final duels. And it's important because it's the only way how she builds in how Bay to work.
Yeah, fair. So you want to spam cards out. That's not what you see a Seamus 1 doing usually.
And if you have 3 cards, usually you don't have something to cheat unless you play in Molly and you just save the best one for the end. On the other side, we have a pretty useless fading, which just reveals random cards.
That's really, really disappointing to me because she has got the ability for Terrifying Gaze to stop like obeys going on and that kind of stuff. Which is actually super nice in conjunction with a proper fading. And then she gets a fading that does nothing.
Yeah, especially the saltiest part about the fading is that your opponent can basically reveal the same card if you just pick badly.
It's
the same turn. And to be fair, we already have kinda attack against Obey, and it's called Tunnel Lace. But yeah, at least Strange Lady saves you from obeying your models.
Cool.
Clawing Darkness is also strange, considering how the poison abilities are only on Rogue Necromancy and Necrotic Machine, and the new other model. But I don't think the payoff of one Distracted is that crazy.
Fair.
I think we do have to talk about it in conjunction with the next card.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna do that after we talk this through, and then we're gonna jump back to this, and we're gonna say, okay, is it worth taking the 2 new models as a duo? Quickitt, do you have any takes on this? Like, you see a use? Is there anything that strikes you as, my god, 10 soulstones? Yes, I'm gonna spend it and play the Strange Lady.
So the Gorgon's Kiss hit. Its attack, it's a willpower attack. which means that if the target is also engaged with like Madame Sibel in like a Seamus 2 crew, for example, then you would attack and your opponent is all negatives. If you are in Paradise Wonderland, you also have 3 or less cards, and you get the inbuilt onslaught, and then she can actually start doing some real damage. Which will also mean that you stack some poison on your opponent. Your opponent will activate. It gets distracted. It gets pinged for a damage for Seamus 2, and I think it will be actually a nasty bubble of death. But it's still Candy Wonderland. And I kind of doubt it's really gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about another model, and I'm gonna double check this right now because I'm not sure I'm completely right. But let me see something real quick. Because this attack reminded me of Kudra. Yeah, I'm correct. Kudra has basically the same attack.
And snakes, I believe.
It's against defense, and it also has an inbuilt onslaught.
It's always inbuilt, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's a 9 soulstone model that has a always inbuilt onslaught on the same attack, and is basically never taken.
Well, to be fair, the difference is that unlike Kudra, Strange Lady can't hit on negatives. I mean, no.
Okay.
Different negatives.
I'm down for seeing the Magic Wonderland combo with Lady Sibel. That will be awesome. Also, this means that my opponent just spent 20 soulstones on 2 models in an interact heavy GG. That is fine by me. I just thinking as the opponent right now.
Overall, I want to say that outside of the salt at the start, I think the back of the card is really good, but it's the cost really brings it down a lot.
Yeah.
So I think if Strange Lady gets maybe in the future the same treatment as Sibel got by reducing her cost and wound by the same amount, she'll be a good model because Obey out of keyword and faction is really great, especially considering how weak Seamus 2, especially against love of models, and Obey goes around of it. And mainly, if you ever take this model, I think it's Seamus 2. Also, her healing actions is really great.
Okay.
And I think you'll never see it with Molly, sadly. Molly's really sad, this book.
Maybe in Molly 2, because
choosing from the stuff from the top of the deck.
Well, there are a few strange things there, because in Molly 2, it's hard to find models that can do like simple duels, which they can cheat from top of their deck and then also sort of expect to draw a card from it if they pass it with 2 or higher. And here you can do it with the tactical action and with the obey, but then you get to draw a card and suddenly you are on 4 cards instead of...
okay.
But one funky thing here is, say you are on 4 cards, right?
Yeah, you can cheat on them, it will activate it, drop cards.
I just cheat like a 6 of tomes for the draw out secrets, and then you suddenly also have the mask inbuilt.
Yeah, because it's not the start of the duel, it's just any time. So yeah, that works.
Okay. Yeah. I'm honest, I was thinking when reading through this for the first time that I would be kind of fine if the obey and the bonus at least had the mask inbuilt, and Kiss of Death would be something different.
I think Kiss of Death is okay, just the fact that this model costs 10 stones and it works like a versatile 9-stone model is not good. Also, I think Habe could use at least 1 more trigger.
Yeah.
If we look again at Mr. Nkatoro, who has a friendly, meaningful trigger.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Ngatoro card. He has also some more useful abilities for multiple keywords. How about Clawing Darkness in a Make Morning crew? Because that that
Do you
power.
really spend 11 stones for such aura?
No. I want that aura in a Mac Morning Crew. I'm not spending 11 stones. I'm just thinking, wouldn't that be nice in a Mac Morning Crew, like enemy models with poison that start the activation gain distracted? That
I think no, because in my opinion, offensive poison is not a thing in
Okay,
this
fair.
edition. It was
but
left in the second edition.
there is some interesting stuff in McMorning. I would not play it in McMorning 2 because you draw too many cards to make use of the 3 or fewer thing. But at least McMorning has things like, Kentauroi that can carry this thing up because it's only speed 5 and it will be left in the dust if it has to move on its own accord. So at least you can put it in position. I would not be so against it in a McMorning 1.
But for 11 stones again, it's just too much.
okay.
It is.
Especially if you
yeah.
don't have access for how's it called? The negative aura.
Yep.
Right shape.
Distraction.
Scarlet
Starlight
Temptation.
Temptation.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Because I think this model basically balanced around
So we got
that ability.
so.
I have one more take, Hagen.
Oh
I have one more
yeah.
take.
Go on.
Yanlo 1.
Okay.
Because you would like Madame Sibel already in Yanlo 1 because you want those negatives for his.
But this model doesn't have Scarlet Temptation.
No, but you already hire Madame Sibel.
Do you?
I think you don't have that privilege of taking more than one out of keyword model with Yanlo. He just loves his
with Yanlo 1
too much.
Yeah,
you use Yanlo 1 because you want you always want Chiaki, you want some model to get reliquary on turn 1, and I think outside of just one 10-stone model, you don't have much room for another one.
Okay. So the idea is when you take Sibel for the negative on willpower, so Yanlo can do the stat 7 into willpower. You can also take this one, so everyone's a negative. Yeah. Okay.
Yanlo 1 can get it into position as well. He offers a lot of movement.
Oh yeah, fair. But then on the other hand, at some point he has a stat 7 versus willpower attack, which is gonna make you very happy. Which is the latest moment where you're probably gonna stop pushing Tensor Storm models around. I mean, it's possible. I'm the last to say no. If you wanna throw down the Yanlo 1 after this recording, I'm there. I want to see what it does. I'm gonna run.
I'll try it and I'll be sorely disappointed, but at least I'll try.
Yeah, but we tried it. We tried
Sure.
it. Okay, cool. That's for the Strange Lady. I like the design. I like that they go back to the Gorgon aspect of this of the Forgotten and Redchapel interaction. But cool. Let's look at the next model because you both seem more excited for this one. Which
kinda.
Okay.
I'm not fully sold actually on Strangers because on one hand they're an amazing addition for Seamus 1, but because Sidekick is really good when you have a model that teleports 12 and also has a really fast model in face of Bat Noir.
Okay, yeah, fair.
But it's another take where body is really sad with this book because this model is massively outclassed by Krulligans because Bioside is just a better sidekick.
Yeah.
And I think the only reason why would you consider this model with Molly is just taking it for its shooting action because it's a handful of stakes which with a stat 6 unlike Mataket, and it also has strength numbers. So if you want to bring some double blasts, there's an option. But do you really need it that often? I'm not sure.
Okay, so looking at the front, we got Fading that gives shielded. So when you discard a card, you get shielded. Hard kill, sidekick, and strength and numbers. It's movement 4, which I always consider to be a drawback on any model on the planet. I missed the fact that you can get to a straight flip very easily with a handful of snakes. That's nice. That will do 3 double blast damage and give everyone poison. That's kind of good.
Yeah, that's I think the best part, at least for Molly's side of things.
Okay.
Yeah, from this side, yeah.
And for the Seamus side of things, because my brain injected this is for Seamus 2. That was my first thought. Am I wrong on that?
Actually, I think Seamus 1, just because Sidekick is really good when Master teleports around.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah, but
I
I
see
think
that.
on both.
Okay.
I would probably take this guy on both versions of Seamus. What I like is the bonus actions. So one for to have the Strange Lady take an action if you take it along the Strange Lady.
Mm-hmm.
But the real mean thing is the suffocating sound in a Seamus 2. Because if you look through the Redchapel keyword, you will see a lot of main triggers, execute triggers, that kind of stuff that has them discard a card, and that gets quite rude with distracted +1 into a damage, into a this, into a that.
Yeah. So you can blow up the bubble of death with the suffocating sound aura. Sounds good.
And it has the ability that you can distract it. It combos with Seamus 1 really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sounds fair. That was my thought exactly. What about the Serene Silence bonus action? Like friendly models discarding a card gain shielded. So that seems to be designed for the Forgotten keyword, but that means you need to be in a 6-inch bubble, which I rarely see a Molly crew be.
Yep. And to be fair, the main model that usually uses its fading can gain shielded.
Yeah, Archie said.
Yeah, Archie said.
Yeah.
Archie said.
So I guess you can get use from this aura if you play Molly too, but
So one nice thing is the Philip and the Nanny, who are often maligned. They have a use as some sort of pseudo scheme runner, where they got a lot of movement also from the fading from the bats, where they can move.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, you can copy the fading of the Keepsake Strangers to get shielded on the Philip. And then another shielded from the Serene Silence.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in total, you make that model a lot more survivable. I'm not saying it's good, but that's useful.
Yeah, the only problem I think is the only way you will trigger it near Philip, I guess, it will be only on turn 1, or if you use Molly's 2 fading.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because if you want to use Keepsake Strangers fading outside of the sidekick, it's basically only attack model, and if Philip already in attacking range, it's really bad. And the other way is having a Strange Lady, but you need to find a trigger, so you basically will spend 2 cards just to gain some shot on 2 models. And you also need to have Strange Lady nearby.
Yeah, okay, though that is a lot of hoops to jump through for getting like a shielded, which is after all not all.
It's shielded too, but still, yeah.
Okay.
Too many.
I mean,
it's too many jumps. I agree with you.
I mean, what I like about this card that you have a option to discard a card on basically every ability. Apart from the snakes.
It's the best one.
Yeah. Apart from the one you're always gonna take. Okay, fair. Okay, but I think this is for 7 soul stones. This is a reasonable model.
Yeah, it's reasonable. It's situational, but it's pretty good, at least for Seamus.
Cool. So
I'm
now,
really sad about Molly side, but with Seamus it's fine.
Okay. Molly is doing fine. Molly doesn't need anything.
No, Molly's keyword is also super fine. We don't need to rework there. So let's jump back to the Strange Lady, because we promised to do so after reviewing the Keepsake Strangers. So how does the Strange Lady benefit from the Keepsake Strangers?
Oh, yeah. Okay, the thing I had in mind is you teleport to the Strange Lady with the Keepsake Strangers. You do Serene Silence to give it let it do an action. Then you throw a handful of snakes and then possibly another handful of snakes at the whatever.
Yeah.
And then it all gets poisoned. Strange Lady hands out a bunch of distracted, and that helps the Strange Lady to survive. because it's part of her defense suit.
Yeah, fair. Doesn't sound too bad as a setup. I mean, if you hit enough models with the double blast, then that actually can be very annoying. Still, we are talking about the 17 Soulstone packet. So what?
And double walking is Strange Lady doesn't sound like a good activation to set up teleport.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is it's the same as it has been for a long time now. That if you invent a 10 Soulstone model that cannot move itself with the bonus action, then we gotta talk about means of transport, which are not always there. I mean, both keywords have ways to move stuff around.
Well, we have some, to be fair, out of keyword moves, like the OP spirits and the rider. But usually they spend, at least in Molly, they spend the actions to move Molly herself. We who speak Molly 1. But yeah, Molly 2 can move it around, but I don't think that Strange Lady benefits that much from Molly 2 outside of this movement.
But consider that combo in Seamus 2. I think it's...
Yeah, taking spirits in Seamus 2 is fine.
So you mean the give distracted, and that does the ping damage from Seamus, and yeah, that's gonna be ugly. Thing is that I think it's fiddly with the activation order you're gonna because you want the Seamus activation before the Keepsake Strangers activation, and the lady
and
in
not
position.
To mention, the Strange Lady always wants to be the last one to go because of Kiss of Death.
Yeah, but I agree. It seems to be that this would probably be the best use. Will we see either of those models out of keyword in the Resurrection? No? Okay.
No.
Well, if Strange Lady was cheaper, then maybe just for Bay, but no.
Okay.
Also, no, we are seeing it. I am definitely playing Strange Lady in Yellow 1.
Okay. Sure. Okay. We're gonna record that game and put it on the channel also. I mean now. I mean, sorry. Now we said that we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. I'm game. I'm gonna. Come on. I'm gonna dice roll the crew I'm gonna play, and then it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Yeah, fair. So that was those. So your takes were. Naya, it's okay for Keepsake Strangers, but Strange Lady should cost like 8.5 Soulstones.
At least 8 or 9.
Okay.
It will be at least better than it's right now.
Okay. Yeah, fair. I'm sad for Molly, but
same.
Well, okay.
Yep.
So let's jump to the next keyword, which is a new keyword. And it contains 3 different cards and 4 models in total, which tells me that it might just be that we are looking at a real starter box this time for the Resurrectionists. The keyword is Fungal, and the first model is Butch and Amelie, an 8 Soulstone henchman model. So who's going to start us off on this one?
Well, maybe let's continue with the Soul then. Because it's very pretty looking models, but they're not made for these gaining grounds.
Okay.
And well, because first of all, it's a 8 stone model with smooth 5, decent survivability, just hard to wound and some region. Then it has a blank ability called Fruiting Bodies, which is really bad, I think. Treating every corpse and friendly ski markers as severe terrain, but only if they lost an 8 from this model. So if enemy model stands on this corpse marker, this ability doesn't work. And if your opponent just stands a bit on the marker, then Sphere doesn't do much outside of just setting up the attack action. Which is just movement, stat 5 against movement, 2/3/3, with some blasts with But the main part of this model, which defines its use, is the power of dance, in my opinion.
Okay. This is a tactical action.
Yeah, the tactical action to heal models within 3 by 2, which is pretty good, but it's made for bubble crews, and gaining grounds for doesn't like bubble crews. So I think we don't see it unless the new GG comes up.
Okay.
The only use in the GG, I think, is taking it with Kirai 2, because you can transfer all the healing from some Rami models to the other. So
Okay.
you can
Is it
use your
only-
panic button and heal Kirai to full health from the half, which is really good, but sadly, outside of Kirai herself and Datsuba, there is rarely that models that are...
Okay, so you're saying if I hit like 5 models with this at once, then I can funnel all the healing into one model?
You can at any model. You can do it at one. You can
you
do
can
it
split
like
it
four.
into two.
Yeah. You split it just every instance of 2 heal. You choose which model will heal from it.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that looks good. I mean, not
Yeah,
that
the
we
only
got...
problem is I think Kirai 2 list is already pretty tight, so it's hard to fit this model unless you just discard GST from Quiescence.
I mean, what you're saying holds true for a lot of the new models, because lists are tight as they are. I mean, the meta is there for like...
there's some models that have free space for them, but they'll be in the end.
Okay.
And if we talk about some older GGs or the future ones, then I think this model will be also great with Sheamus 2 potentially, and maybe Jack 1, because outside of their healing abilities, they have a really good bonus actions that combos really well with both these crews.
Okay.
Which is Power Spirit. I probably butchered it, but this is a bonus action for all these keywords, which says target must discard a card. And if it is engaged by a friendly fungal model, it also gains distracted. And both Sheamuses love discarding cards because of execute. Same for Jack. And also both Sheamuses love distracted for different reasons.
Yeah. Fair. Sounds like a bonus action you would always like top deck and hope to hit. Okay, fair. Quickitt, any takes on this model? You're of a different opinion, or?
I think this guy always has to take into context Oscar. I think you take the two in a pair and not separate.
Okay.
With Oscar, this guy gets a lot better.
Okay.
But it's still gonna be contained in the crews that QT mentioned. I don't think you will see the pair outside of those crews.
Okay, fair. One last thing before we jump to Oscar then. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I forgot about. There's also another reason why we would love this model in Rechapel, because of its not built-in, but second trigger for power residence, which allows you to move 2 markers within range. And surprise, you can count models in HUDs as markers, so you can have some more move tricks for your crew.
Oh yeah. Oh, that would be nice for Sheamus too, I think.
Yeah, and potentially you can use it in Riva, but I don't see it. But yeah, moving some pairs may be nasty, but I don't think this model fits in that good.
I don't think they like to dance in the pyres though. So what's your take on Endless Waltz as a as a real butterfly jump hater? You're gonna really hate this skill as well.
Yeah. It's same as Strange Lady was poor man's and Mr. Gatoro. Same as well for Endless Waltz.
Okay.
The only thing it's better than the butterfly jump is you can use it when you're blasted or when you fail shockwaves, but it's still not a great condition to move only when you suffer damage.
Oh yeah, and the timing is different, which is also not unimportant. So you're not gonna suffer hazardous twice from it.
Oh, it can be also a bit worse because with butterfly jump, for example, enemies trigger to move your model happens first, and then model with butterfly jump moves, and here is sadly it's another way.
Okay. You convinced me that it's not as good as I thought it would be. Cool. So Oscar, the new Enforcer Undead Versatile model, 7 Soul Stones, front of card. Who's gonna take us off on that one?
I'll do it.
Yeah, you can take it.
So this guy has a somewhat shitty defensive stats, like in true Resurrectionists fashion. But he has armor 1, he has heart to wound, and he has regeneration, and he has 7 health on 7 costs. So basically the whole bunch of defensive tech that you would like.
Not to mention.
And then there's the
Siphon Life on both his
Yeah,
on two
yeah,
of his attacks.
yeah. And then there's probably the most important part of his card is the Network of Mycelium, where if he is within 6 of a master or henchman, he draws a card, like all of the starter box enforcers. And if Batch and Emily are within 6, either this guy or Batch and Emily take an interact action ignoring engagement. And I think that's just wonderful.
That sounds super good. I mean, the draw card when you're near henchman seems to be the standard nowadays. Like,
Yeah, and I really like this design of abilities for enforcer starters.
Yeah, those are kind of good. So back of the card, anything that strikes us as super good?
Well, the same good bonus action with built-in Siphon Life to keep him alive for more. Same okay-ish range attack and just a classic zero part with stat 6.
Yeah, and the Siphon Life, but sadly not inbuilt. How about the second tactical action, the Smell the Roses tactical action?
I don't see any use for it.
Yeah, but you can make a 3-inch aura of a marker or
Well,
friendly.
sometimes it will see play, but I don't think it will be used as often as Spore Spirit because of Siphon Life is built in.
Yeah, I agree. Spore Spirit has inbuilt Siphon Life.
Yeah.
But this seems like this would be very good in Riva. But I mean the Smell the Roses thing where you have severe terrain around a pyre marker. But I don't think Riva has room for this guy.
I think it's actually really bad with Riva because it's counters, at least with actually with both Rivas, it counters your abilities to move models because I think it's the most important part of both models. That you can move enemy either by abilities like Riva 2 or by just triggers on attack with Riva 1. And because this severe will have all this movement, it just counters your own gimmick.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, you gotta be careful with it. But
I mean, I think if you can tar pit stuff within the severe once you got them into the pyres, I think that is more what Quickitt thought it would be like. But then you gotta leave 1 7 Soulstone model at home. So are you guys more optimistic for this model to get into cruise in this GG? Because it seems like a decent model, like bit of an all-around kind of beater enforcer.
yeah, so the list that I have in mind is Kirai 2 with both this guy and Batch and Emily. Then to quiz in Jakuna Ubume. Reason for that being that both Oscar and Batch and Emily are somewhat slow. And Kirai will run away with her swirling spirit stuff. So at least in the unpacked part, you can lure with Chikuna Ubume. And then you can try to put a course marker down somewhere or a scheme marker down somewhere to make severe, to put them into the Chikuna aura. And then you can try to use on Batch and Emily on the power of dance, which you're going to do anyway. You can try to do like the cordyceps part where you can push them into the hazardous. I don't think that list is super good, but I think it's quite playable in something like Cloak and Dagger, where the free interacts you get from Oscar ability, ignoring engagement, is going to be good, and Kirai can just summon stuff that gets close to gather intel, and then the summons can steal stuff. I think that will be good in that strat at least.
Okay, so that is your first point. We're gonna insert these two guys into a crew. Sounds reasonable to me. QT, any thought where you would put those as a pair?
Yeah, to be fair, so let's start with the fact that this guy's support ability may be the strongest among all Enforcer in starters.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think this GG, he'll be more useful just by himself than paired with Batch. Because interact effect is really great, but Batch is really slow to make a good use of it. But this semi-beater with some free card draw can be used in any master that doesn't care about his keywords much.
Mm-hmm.
So I mainly look at Kirai 1 and Seamus 1.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because with Kirai 1 it's easier to stay from network. And she usually doesn't have that many slots that she likes to take, so this edition is very welcome. And if I ever thought about taking both Patch and Oscar, I think it will be only on old strategies, mainly on Karma Pass, because it's a rare interact strategy where playing bubble pays off.
Mm-hmm.
If you decide to take a route of just going in a bubble through the center with both markers and not spreading out.
Okay. So we are talking about the GG All tournament we are all looking towards.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair. Right. So we got one more model in the supposed starter box, which is the minion type model. And those are the Devilings. They are minion 2 undead versatile models at 5 soulstones. So anyone got any ideas how useful those are going to be? No?
I don't know.
Well,
at first sight they look really good because wow, it's kinda cheap minion with Demise Eternal, which is already crazy, and with Heart on the top. Lachon also great ability to combo with other models. So at first sight, you may think that it's just unkillable. How you call it, skimmer, but the movement 4 is really hard to, I think.
Yeah, that is true. As said,
Especially when you must compete with better movement 4 model that has chain gang.
Yeah, the bane of the faction, basically.
Of other factions.
No, I think also this faction, because it makes a lot of other models not as interesting, including this one probably. Quickitt, any takes on this?
So there are pools this GG where it pays off to run a shitter list full of 5 or less soulstone minions.
Yeah.
Pools that include ensnare, hold up their forces, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, probably just.
I think these guys will. Yeah, I think it's mostly a scheme thing.
Mm-hmm.
These guys I think they can find a place in those types of pools. Fungal Bloom, their tactical action has me interested in the context of Riva, but again, I have no clue what I would leave out of a Riva list to include this. It fits the theme of nothing ever dies, but I don't know. These guys look good, but I don't know where their home is.
Okay.
I can see one, just one. It's another bane of the meta. It's Seamus with a shitter list.
Yeah, Seamus 1 or yeah.
Yeah, Seamus 1.
Oh, right, with the hats. Yeah.
It's just not the hats, but because he has really spare slots for this type of models compared to other masters, where I think you can't find slots. Maybe with Molly, but I'm not a fan of going full minions with Molly.
Okay. Sad, because when I looked at this model, I was like, yeah, this is good. This is basically an 8 health, 5 soulstone cost model. I mean, okay, if you have another model that needs discards, like you have probably
That's actually one of the reasons I would say it doesn't belong in River, because you already want too many discards for both Execute
yeah.
and
And the
Yeah, exactly.
Demise and Lampettes.
Yeah, and you're gonna let this one die before you let the Lampet die for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my thought as well. I mean, Creep Along is nice, but it needs a 6. And 6 can do other stuff as well. Okay. Ah, well.
Also, another reason why this model is great with Seamus 1, because of Fletchon, which you can finally target models with defense 6, which is without being afraid of just missing, because your opponent has better card draws than you.
Oh,
that's fair.
That's nasty. Oh, yeah,
But getting these things into position to do that is going to be
at least
hard-ish,
one is already great.
Yeah. I mean, they're just gonna run up the board and latch onto anything, and then Seamus is gonna pop.
And Seamus has 0 use for his like 1s and 2s in hand, so
yeah,
that's true.
Okay, making Seamus better doesn't seem to be like the most important thing on the we introduce new models into the game agenda, but well,
and not everyone will be happy about it.
yeah, those lists with the mass of low cost minions that are significant. I'm not a fan of those, just because of my playstyle and how it absolutely does not fit that, but okay, it's a thing. So overall, how would you rate the starter box as we think about how beginners are gonna get introduced into the game with this? Is this a decent package to get to learn the game?
Actually, from beginner's perspective, I think it's really great. Just as an addition for starting out, because you gain somewhat good skimmers in form of Daplings, and you get semi-bitter in Oscar, which is nice.
Yeah, and you got healing also incorporated.
Yes.
I think for a starter box, Batch, Emily, and Oscar together are kind of nice. Also, I think I like that they have all the same bonus action, so I get introduced to this keyword has a bonus action concept quite well.
Yeah, true.
Seems fair. So yeah, cool. So
it's a really good addition when your collection is really small, I think. But for more experienced players, I think maybe you will only look at Oscar most of the times.
Yeah, okay.
And only in some corner cases you look at Davrings and Batch.
Yeah, I mean
Oscar is probably the hottest model in this box.
I think what's really good about this as a starter box is that it introduces players to many different concepts that they might not have thought about. So what is a marker? Is this a marker? Is that a marker? What can I do with markers? And also, what is a hand? Can I discard cards from your opponent's hand? Yes, you can. What can I use cards for? That kind of stuff. I mean, these guys include all of those mechanics quite well. I like it.
Yeah,
they also have a good spread of both melee and range attacks, which I think is also a great introduction for new players.
Cool. Yeah, seems a more well-rounded product than what we talked about last episode. But we're gonna.
Pressurized, I think, also great because he's only enforcer draws card and costs 1 less stone compared to others.
Yeah. Okay, let's not go there.
Let's not go disaster.
I think it's gonna end in disaster. We go back to that place. Also, I didn't shovel all the salt out yet, so we can't go there now. Anyhow, let's jump to the next model, which is from the Retainer Revenant keyword, and now it's gonna get interesting because this is the Ghost Eater, a living enforcer. So I'm sure both of you have good ideas for that one. Who wants to start on that?
Okay, the Ghost Eater. It's an 8th cost enforcer, but it's actually a henchman because it got attuned. Except that it doesn't count for schemes that count for henchmen, so that's good. This guy will not give you away sweating bullets. And it's got a whole bunch of abilities. It's called Empower. Let's start talking about that first. That's actually important. It means that if Yanlo would Soulstone for a mask to do his obey, he would get a plus to that duel, and he would suddenly ignore concealment, for example. Or if he would stone for a stunning strike on his Twisting Reality, he would ignore concealment. And this is also the ability that possibly enables this model in other crews, in other out of keyword stuff. But yeah, it's got Hard to Wound. He's got Final Veil for some defensive tech. It's not a lot, but with stones it should be enough for a while. And then we go into the Ghost Lights. So in the Spirit world, this guy can discard a card, summon a Ghost Light. Ghost Lights are just incorporeal, mindless, insignificant 2 health things. With 1 or 2 very important abilities. One of them is that if you use a Soulstone near them, then they can die, and they can get you that Soulstone back.
Sounds handy.
So, yeah, that's very useful. This guy's got a standard Tear Apart attack with Exorcism, but it's stat 5. He's got a good ranged attack in Spirit Barrage, ignoring friendly fire, with a somewhat crazy trigger in Spiritual Weakness, where if you kill a Ghost Light within 3 of the target gets Burning +4 or Injured +2. That hurts. And he's got Dismember as the other trigger, which can sometimes be good if you include Toshiro in your crew if you're Yanlo, or if you are Reva and you like corpse markers, although you probably get enough of them. And then 2 tactical bonuses, the first of which I don't think you will use often. It heals him if he kills a friendly model, it heals him by the target's health, and if you kill a Ghost Light, you draw a card. And the second one is the standard Instill Youth. It needs a 6. Target heals 1, 2, 3, and if it attaches an attached reliquary upgrade, heals another 1, ends a condition. And then the ever important trigger, you suffer 2 irreducible damage and you summon a Ghost Light. So you can summon 2 Ghost Lights every turn if you have the tome or you stone for the tome. So my main use for this is in Yanlo 2. The Ghost Lights are minions. Yanlo can attach to the Ghost Lights. Yanlo has this wonderful ability where if a reliquary gets attached, he draws a card once per activation. And this guy allows you to make it much easier to draw a card nearly every activation. One thing, for example, you could do is spend a Soulstone, kill a Ghost Light that has Yanlo attached to it, which hasn't activated yet because it's mindless, but you kill it anyway. Yanlo attaches to another minion and you draw a card. So during the turn of every henchman and every master in your crew, you could in theory also draw a card if you set it up properly. And well, it does need a tome, a 6 of tome. But in a Yanlo crew, you tend to have like Chiaki and Toshiro as well, who also need specific cards. And the way you can find these cards is by attacking your own models with Kenshiro, succeeding on the attack, looking at the top 2 cards, and then once you found the card, you go into your necessary activation to use that card. And if the card's on the 2nd position, then you just use a tactics token and you get it anyway. So this guy basically enables the reliquary juggling playstyle for Yanlo very well. And after a few tests with this model, I can usually draw about 6 cards in the first setup turn at least. And although the activation order gets trickier as the game goes on, I think you will still be able to draw 2 or 3 cards every turn. So this guy is, for me, an auto-include in Yanlo 2. I don't think it's super useful in Yanlo 1 unless QT has something cool to say.
No, I fully agree.
Yeah, so in Yanlo 2, this model looks absolutely insane to me. I'm not sure it makes Yanlo 2 like top of the line. He is good in ballads mostly, but it will make that list much stronger. That's my take.
at least it will bring back for competitive side. Not on the top of the faction, but he definitely will be much more than just a meme or a way to use your most loved master in a tournament.
Yay.
I think
Finally.
we can see him more, but the problem is that Ghost Eater now is a must take in all his lists.
Okay. So this is the model that slots neatly into where there was no space before. Okay.
Well,
I
you can ignore its hiring minions now because you just summon the cigars and you summon the ghosts.
Okay, so
you're fine.
Yeah, okay. So what gets the boot for the Ghost Eater? Which model is gonna, gets kicked out?
For me, it's Yin.
It's all commanders that you had in the past.
Yeah, okay.
Because I don't know what's a common list for now. After the
I used to play, but the most successful list I have was double Komainu, Sun Qiang, and then Yin, Manos, Chiaki, Kenshiro. And I will kick the whole package with Sun Qiang and with Komainu, and I will include Toshiro and this guy, and I will also kick Yin, and then either hire a Ghost Light or hire a zombie for a corpse marker for Toshiro.
Okay, no place for a Gravedigger?
Well, you have another model instead of Grave.
There is a possible model.
There's a possible. Yeah, okay. We're gonna get to that.
Especially, that's like one of the reasons why we can afford to kick out Edison Kwan, who is usually one of the best models in Keyword.
Yeah, I see it now that you mention it. I could totally see that line of thinking. Okay, cool. So we are now in. You have some more information how to do Yanlo 2. How would this fit into Reaver? Because I think this is also not the worst model if you play Reaver.
It's a really good model for Reaver, actually. It's not a good model if you play it in the British style.
Okay.
With a lot of minions, but it makes the gunline bunker for Reaver much better, even if it's at least got much worse in this DG. But from my experience, there are still some cases like standard of edge raid the vaults. So there's always was a flex spot where I usually take either Lampad or Gwil for some situations.
Mm-hmm.
And for the context, the main parts of the Reaver 2 gunline are Anna Lovelace, Vincent, and Tushel Beaters, with couple whispers to have your cards better. And Coster fits here nicely because he adds some healing with his instill use that was missed in Keyword, where all model has different types. We have both living, undead, and Lampads who are nothing. So for that reason, instill use is really good. Attuned also is not attuned. The Empower is really great for Vincent, who loves to spend stones for both critical strikes and exorcism trigger. So you can go around concealment without spending your focus.
Yeah, fair.
And just recycling spirits is also great for Vincent, and especially it's really great for Reaver's defensive ability, because instead of using them as stones, you can just use them to reduce any damage to 0. You have more chaff models to use this ability now.
Yeah, fair.
As well, even I would say that Reaver 1 still probably on the bottom 3 of Masters of the Faction, but with this model she got a bit better, not that much better to put actually on the big tables on tournaments, but Dismember trigger on the gun combos really well with her, and still use another ability that was really needed for Reaver 1, who loves to ride around, so this decent healing is really great for her.
Yeah, that is true. Healing seems to be good. Only thing that bugs me about the Ghost Eater when considering playing in Reaver is that he has nothing to benefit of the pyre markers.
Yeah,
might
I
be,
agree.
might be the only
That's
model.
the toughest part. But with Riva too, it's a bit trickier to manage burning, but if you're good with managing her bonus action, he'll be fine.
Yeah. Probably correct. Other thing that bugged me a bit was the fact that the ghost lights are incorporeal and you can't run them through the pyre markers to make them explode or something like that, or give them burning and then kill them with reversibility, and get more pyre markers off of those.
If you want to get more biomarkers, you just can charge Riva, punch her, and she will kill them. Or even better, just spend stones for any ability, because
yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. You spend
Riva loves triggers.
Yeah, you spend the stone. You don't need just to.
Oh no, actually, yeah. Wait. You don't get it when you spend stone, because ghost lights kills the Sims like middle zombies.
Yeah, fair. What do the ghost lights do for us apart from being a expendable resource that we can bring to the table? Do they have any use when they are on the table?
Well,
Yeah.
only
So in a yellow crew, they use their bonus action. Well, this bonus action that they have, they don't use probably, because they will use the attached yellow bonus action to obey something. And then they will toss Yellow's reliquary around and they will draw a card. And that's their activation.
So what about the Ancestors Light bonus action in the Yellow crew? You never use that because your activation order is better than having to use that. That's what I hear from what you're saying.
No, Yellow, if you have the reliquary attached to this guy, they gain a bonus action for Yellow to take an action.
Yeah,
and that's better than this.
Yeah, okay. So you order your activations so you don't have to take the real bonus action on the card here.
But it's a backup.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's a nice backup, so you can draw another card. Needs you to flip a 5, but then you can throw the upgrade to another model from another model and draw a card over Yanlo's ability. Seems neat. QT, anything they do for us in Reaver?
You can set up some burning on lampards, but I don't think they will live that long. Also, really important to mention that it's another Ghost Eater is another model that's weak against the base, because spiritual weakness is not enemy only. So your opponent can obey him to shoot with spiritual weakness and kill your ghost light with it. So that's kind of sad.
Yeah, that is true. I mean,
and the other special mention that I want to make at the end of our discussion of this model. Before there is no models to discuss about taking out of keyword, and I think this is the only one that should be taught in this context.
Okay.
When he was teased, people already assume that given these walking resources of cost lights is too strong, but I think for most stone users in faction that are outside of Revenant and Retainer, they don't like ghost lights, because if the ghost lights too close, where most of our models want to be to use them, they'll just die before you can spend them. But there is just one master who will love taking Ghost Eater out of keyword, and that's Kirai 1, who always stays in the back. She has 2 actions, for which she loves to spend stones, which is her summon and her gun action, which have 2 amazing triggers. And just for that reason, I think you can take Ghost Eater for Kirai.
Yep.
Both for healing, because Kirai 1, unlike other summoners, has really bad drawback of slowly dying from if opponent ignores your summons.
Yep.
And she likes both Empower and free stones that Ghost Eater provides her.
Yeah.
The only question, can we fit him in GG4? Which I guess sometimes. But it's still a bit tricky, especially when we talk about new models.
Probably. I mean, to be fair, he fits into the he can stay near to Kirai, fit into the gun line kind of neatly, and give her some extra resources. So that is kind of nice. I mean, the question is how much of Kirai 1 we are going to see this GG anyway. I mean, I know you are playing her sometimes, and I know I would play her because I don't like Kirai 2 because I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm stuck in my ways, but
maybe going a bit too far for the end of this conversation. I think Kirai 1 is the biggest winner from this book in our faction, along with
okay.
Shame as well.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, really? Okay, I was not aware of that. Let's see how.
But it's my opinion at least. So we'll
Oh
discuss
no,
it later.
That's also kind of because she was at a low place, right? So she also got a lot, but she had a long way to go. So it gets easier to win the most.
Yeah, fair. I mean, Resus don't have a weak lineup in my opinion, apart from some things that are not like ideal. So even I think even the low places in the faction are kind of good compared to some other stuff. So yeah, we finished with the Ghost Eaters and Ghostlight part of this book. So we're ready to jump into Tormented Urami.
Yep.
Okay, then let's go there and see why this is the winning thing. So we got 2 new models for Tormented and Urami, which is first one Kari Zotiko. I'm absolutely not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but never mind that. We got a 8 soulstone cost henchman, incorporeal, 7 health. It got Vengeance, it got Torment, which are the keyword abilities of both keywords. It got Peer Through Fog, which is of course nice, and it got my biggest thing, it has Withering Away. So enemy models within 3-inch aura cannot heal. So where did you 2 guys find uses for that? Quickitt, can you talk me through it?
So Kari Zotiko, she has an excellent attack action in Charon's Toll, where you have your opponent discard a card and he suffers damage depending on what he discarded with inbuilt Mark Soul. Okay. And a nice bonus action, some sort of pseudo obey, which can be really good. But the thing that I had in mind is the Twisting Mist, which normally is on Kirai 2's card. And you can put this on Jakuna Ubume to get her into concealing as well as her serene countenance. So not even focus does a lot.
Yeah, I also want to mention before you say anything else that actually it's actually the same effect but different name. The biggest difference that Kari's Mist doesn't lock into keywords, so you can heal any model with it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that now you can use this in Kirai 1, which seems very valuable to me.
Yeah, fair. I mean, it's basically nice for all your models in Kirai 1. I think probably sometimes you just put it on Ikirio. But it costs an AP and it needs a whopping 7. So that's Kirai's card management isn't too easy, and I think you wanna top deck that 7 most of the time.
I think you maybe depends on stones, but this is a good user of a Whisper, also because of her bonus action. So I would consider putting a Whisper on her, although she gets pretty expensive if you do so.
Yeah,
I think it might be worth it.
Okay, so you can look for the 5 of Crow to make the Silver Whistle go through and obey one of your models every turn. Yeah. Okay. And that's a 10 soulstone investment, which I consider to be quite a lot. How about the melee action? Any use for that? Any good things about this?
Okay, actually, I'll drop the bomb outside of discussing the melee action. I honestly think this model is kind of bad, mainly because it's too squishy for its cost, even if we consider that it's henchman is incorporeal. If you compare it just with the Tsuba, who has at least Purifying on top, to stay alive. Carry is kinda too easy to put down for her cost, I think. Even so, her actions are great. And my biggest hot take that this model is actually better in Tormented than in Urami.
Okay. So you're not gonna put the Whisper on that one because you're
No.
afraid that the Whisper is gonna go by. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. So what uses do you see for that model in Tormented then if you don't put it in Urami?
Well, let's continue back to the melee action because it's much better than Tormented. If you play at least Jack 2, where you'll have a lot of hazardous terrain, so you can drag enemy models through it, or just drag your guilty round if you're ready to pay the cost of the damage on it.
Yeah, so for our listeners, what this does is it's a stat 6 against defense with 2, 3, 4 damage track. And whenever you're targeting an enemy tormented model, you get a mask built in for the you're coming with me trigger. And enemy tormented
Which
models,
is really good.
Yeah, would be models that you gave an upgrade to with Jackdaw or a Hanged. Or your own
and
guilties.
you always you count your guilties for it, which is nice. Karen Stall looks good, but I think it's actually not worth an AP, to be honest.
Really?
Even if Jack loves this card, but it's because it's 3-0, it's too much controllable. Maybe it's 3-1, it will be a bit better.
But he's discarding a severe to take 0 damage. I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, same. And the Dark Soul on a 6 versus willpower seems very good to me, at least in Urami.
Yeah, also in Jack as well, because I'm
yeah, you love this card. Yeah.
I mean,
no problem with Jack. His list is really tight.
Yeah, that is true. But as a Jack 1 fan, I'm a big fan of that action because that's gonna set me up for everything I want to do. Because my opponent is not gonna have a hand after my second activation. He's not going to have any cards anymore. Okay.
And Twisted Mist, I think, is much better in Tormented, who start for healing and keyword compared to Urami.
Yeah. Oh, you can give.
Well, we picked all creators and not the donkey. The donkey man faction.
Yeah, but we are playing Resurrectionists, right? And even if I would be playing the donkey faction, which I'm known to do, sometimes we want to play other models, and this will free 2 stones over the donkey. And we are not going to discuss that the donkey is probably still worth it anyway. We're gonna try new stuff. We got new models now. We need to try other things. No, I have to disagree with the Terrence Toll not being a good action. I think I think Terrence Toll is a good action in both keywords. The only question is, how do I get into position to be within 8 inches? Because I ignore concealment, I'm gonna get on my opponent's nerves right away. So
with Scry too, it's really easy, but in Jack is questionable.
Yeah,
because I think this model has to go for a walk or 2, but yeah,
probably too.
From the context of Jack, it's like Stygian Hook all the way. Like smack.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna go right into melee. Yeah. Okay. You're a Jack 2 player. I know that. I couldn't. I know I can't convince you otherwise. Fair. So no one is actually talking about this model having the Withering Away aura. Like,
it's actually great for Jack, I think, but again, I think even for 8 stones, it would be smashed too fast if it gets into 3 inches of enemy models that don't like the healing ignored.
I mean, isn't this as survivable as a Hanged? Like,
no, it doesn't have.
It doesn't have it doesn't have terrifying EU.
Yeah, that's why I compare it to Datsuba, who also has same stats basically, same wounds to cost ratio, but Datsuba at least has terrifying 12.
Yeah, fair. Okay.
So basically, Kari just trades her survivability of that spell for more utility on her card.
Yeah, true. That's about also has
Cutie,
one more wound.
Cutie, one
well,
thing you
because
might be
he
forgetting.
costs one more stone. That's why she has one more wound.
Oh yeah, fair.
Yeah, what you want to say?
Yeah, one thing you might be forgetting is this she ignores concealment. If you put Karon Stall, if you are in Urami, if you put Karon Stall on something that is in concealment, everything is going to ignore that concealment.
Yeah, I think the only problem with Karen Stall is, at least from Kirai's perspective, that if opponent already doesn't have cards and you want to squeeze some range damage, you can do it. That's the main issue with it. I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So then you do something else, probably.
Well, yeah, she has some good utility, but overall, I think her actions are great, but I don't think she'll actually see that much play, at least on competitive tables.
Okay.
But it's a really good model.
I mean, probably
for usual
yeah,
play.
I mean, I think Quickitt is going to take her to the competitive stuff, so you're probably wrong about that, but
Yeah, but I will also lose with it. So
oh yeah, that is not the issue. The issue is if we
Yeah, you're treated sworded right. Okay.
Oh no. I don't know about both of the models for Tormented and Urami. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not the most active Resurrectionist player anyway, because it's like my side faction. I'm not sure how they incorporate into my list building, and I would just have to put them on the table because I think they're going to arrive like tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, and I'm gonna like quickly slap some paint on them and maybe take them out for a quick walk at the weekend. So I have to try around these models because
we have to mention something, right? We have to mention at least that both Carrie and her henchmen are henchmen and enforcers, which means that they are teleport beacons for Lost Love.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we forgot to talk about Ferryman at all. So
now we don't. Okay.
It's a good jumping point, like they are for Lost Love.
Should we talk about the Ferryman? I didn't think we were finished with the with the controversial discussion about Kari. Okay. So let's jump to the Ferryman, which is the enforcer of the duo,
and which is the best model in the box.
Okay, so you're gonna start us off on that one, Cutie.
Yeah. First of all, like already quick started. It's an enforcer, so we finally got another great beacon for Lost Love in Kirai, which is great. He costs just 7 stones, has armor 1, terrifying of 10, which is not great, but it helps to filter some cards from opponent's deck.
Yep.
It has crazy vengeance too, which I honestly think it would be much better if it had just vengeance 1 and higher terrifying, but yeah, I was the one who made these cards. And
okay, fair.
And the Great Moon 6, which is pretty rare for Jack at least, and much useful for Kirai.
Yeah, fair.
Especially when we start looking at its back card, which first of all, it has a great attack with engagement of 2. We can compare it to Oscar, who costs the same cost, but has worse range and worse moderate damage. It has typical trigger for Kirai stuff, Fist of Vengeance, and also kind of common Flay.
Is it
common in the sense of it only on Goria, I believe. And then Jack's Vein Down. All 3 triggers are great, I would say.
Fair.
And then we see the crazy action, which makes this model not only the great beacon for Lost Love and cheap beater, but it also makes it an utility piece, which is Lost in the Fog. Actions that ignores concealment and either can give Distracted 2 to a model or move it up to 4. And it has 2 built-in triggers, which are either activating the concealing terrain aura within the target, or give it another new curse upgrade.
Oh yeah, the new upgrade.
So most of all, in Tormented, I think it's mostly an utility piece, because you can either set up finally the poor August Heart,
Oh no.
was a one keyword model basically until this book, and now he may see some play. At least we can't say reliably that he'll be that often, but it may be spicy to finally bring some Jack competition. And he can also just move your Hanagets around. And because of movement 6, he will catch up pretty easily at the next turn.
Fair.
Not to mention that his curse upgrade is really great.
Yeah, can I say something about the curse upgrade?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So, I mean, we can all read the text. My models move towards you if you are marked for death, and you can actually not get rid of this. If you do Soul for a Soul, you get staggered, and the upgrade goes to another model. This upgrade doesn't get discarded in any way.
Nice.
And that seems bonkers.
Yeah.
Well, we can give it to something not significant. But yeah, it's really great in that regard, but you can't remove it.
Yeah, I mean, you get the exit that you always get when playing against Jackdaw. You can just die, then this upgrade is gone.
Or you face Duet, which just replaces and gets rid of it. Makes you sad.
No, we're not gonna talk about Do It. We are in Magic Wonderland of new Jackdaw upgrades, which is great.
Well, it's still a great upgrade.
Oh yeah.
Even if we talk about such mean models as Do It.
Yeah. Would you attach this upgrade to? Oh, you can't attach it to Guilty. Enemy non-Guilty are sad, because I was thinking that you could use it at the Guilty as a movement beacon, like automatic 4 inches of movement every turn. But sadly, someone thought about this.
It's not a madness.
No, it's not a madness. It's not a madness model. They actually made work. Okay, so you are a big fan of this. Would you pick it in both keywords or only in the one?
I think in Kirai it's just an auto take in both versions. You just slam it in every list.
Okay.
Probably. With Jack, he's really viable, but I'm not sure if you will take it all the time. Because it brings a lot of utility, but there's a lot of competition for Tormented.
Fair, but it seems kind of survivable, and I like that.
It's really survivable.
I like that it has Death of Malifaux, at least, if not incorporeal. And Armor 1 plus Vengeance seems pretty dumb. A combination of abilities.
This model is way overstated for like 7 stones, right?
Yeah.
So it will find its way into a lot of lists.
Yeah.
Well, Vengeance 2 is just a mistake.
Yeah. I think it's still cringe that the Quickitt got this. I seeing it on another model gives me toothache, to be honest. But okay, I'm gonna take it as a Jack enjoyer. Also, this is. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first 2-inch engagement model both of these keywords get.
Yeah.
So
which is great.
Yeah, more tar pit. Only thing that makes me sad is that the flay trigger is obviously on mask, which makes it kind of awkward in Jack, where masks are already like spoken for all day. But yeah, I mean, you can get the cheeky 5 damage in at some point.
Or just classic way down for Mimo 3.
Yeah.
Which is also great.
Yeah. Min 3 is also nice. It seems like basically this is a model that sells itself by its stats and the Lost in the Fog action. Sounds nice. Cool. So this is a neat packet. Would you consider taking those two together? Like, because the Silver Whistle on the Karizotiko model gives you the Crow inbuilt if you target the Ferryman, so you get another AP on the Ferryman.
Well,
that
if
is-
you ever will take carry, you will take Ferryman with her. But if you take Ferryman, you will sometimes leave carry at home.
Yeah.
Which I will even say most of the time.
Yeah, I understood that she will stay in your cupboard when you go to tournaments. I got that. Cool. So these are the better models apart from the leftovers. Would you say that are in the new book for Resus?
Yeah, I would say
At least the
basically
ferryman, yeah.
Ferryman, Leftovers, and Ghost Eaters are all great additions for the keywords at least.
Okay.
I do think you play in if you play carry, the silver whistle is usually better done on another model than on the ferryman.
Well, if you have a
Although,
card for it.
yeah, if you have a card, of course. But if you do it on a hanged or on Ikirio, that's all, or on an enemy tormented model.
Well, on enemy
that's all-
model is too hard, I think. Because
it's 7. It's like obey.
Oh, yeah.
But you still need a trigger. I mean, not trigger,
The suit.
the suit. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but that's like most obeys.
I
Well,
mean,
actually, half
Most
of
of base have some ways to build on their suits. To be
Yeah,
fair.
fair.
I mean, if I find
It's only ours that like that.
I think if I find a high crow in my hand with both of these keywords, I got other uses for it than trying to obey something.
Yeah.
That is it.
What should I do?
I'm a simple person. I'm like, okay, there goes.
Let's execute.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, you played against me. Fair. Let's execute.
Well,
people.
it's just what you do with Jack 1. no?
Fair. I mean, but yeah, if you get bored, you can obey an enemy tormented model to do something. Seems like the less efficient thing to do, but fine.
Well, it's fine in at least in Jack 2 when you have hazardous, so you do charge, so they suffer from hazardous twice.
Okay, so are we ready to jump into the next chapter of our little talk through? And as an honorable mention, we got the new return model, which is sadly not of the green faction, but of the purple faction. So this is the Leech King and the giant leeches, which returned will share with the Swamp Fiend. So how does the Leech King work in a Castor crew in Resurrectionist? Quickitt, you got any idea?
Well, what comes to mind is you summon a giant leech. It has latch on. You hit it really hard with Castor 1 or 2, who likes a -1 defense penalty to what he does.
Fair. Very good. How far can you summon those leeches?
Not very far. That's the problem. And so it's 8-inch. You have to walk, and then another 8-inch. So that's 13-inch, and then you need to hit at least an 11 of crows. It's an expensive little joke.
Or you can just have a 10 because if a model is already damaged.
Yeah, but if you set up the Alpha Strike for Castor 2, the chances is that the model is not already damaged.
Yeah, I mean, spending the 11 of crows for that instead of just spending it on Castor's stat 7 attack seems a bit like, okay, well, if you're going to do it that way, you're going to do it that way. So the Leech King is a new enforcer with 8 soulstone costs. It has evasive for reasons. It has regeneration +1, and for some reason it's got ruthless, which I don't see the reason for. And it has the I'll have what they're having ability that says once per activation, if this model would heal in excess of its maximum health, a friendly model within 4 may heal an amount equal to the excess. Okay, so what this means is when this model heals, it can basically make another model heal and have this model count in excess of its maximum health. So when this heals, you can move another model. But how does this heal? How does it work? Drink blood trigger on both attack actions? Is that the idea?
Actually, this is the part where thematic side of Return being a bit junky mechanically comes up. because that ability is one per activation. Most of the time, you just regen 1, and then you can't get big heals from Drink Blood, and be really sad when you realize that. Because Regens happens first, so if you're already on full health at the start of activation, you just waste potential big heal from Drink Blood.
Okay, but isn't it a May? So is this not the May part saying that you can choose to do so? Or is the May just the model May heal and you think that it always triggers on regeneration? I mean, I wasn't thinking about this being important for healing, just for moving stuff around.
Yeah, just some at least never important players consider it as a big part of this model.
Okay.
Getting big heals from what the discussions I saw, at least.
Okay. Huh. So, I mean...
Because actually, and that's why they have Frostface, because that's another part which at least NeuroPress I saw got excited from getting this model. And there comes the sad part that this model probably just better is out of keyword and purple than taken in caster in Resurrectionists.
Yeah, okay.
Also, it has really great actions for both Blood Magic and Clue of Leech is amazing. Bloodletting is fine. But Blood Magic, because it can ignore negatives when model already damaged, so it can reliably finish off something with 5 damage is good. And just summon Leeches is great, because for summon model, they have pretty good stats.
Okay, fair. You said that it's like talked about for its big heals, but big heal with Drink Blood?
First of all, it's talked because of Clue of Leeches. There's already some ideas of making
a lot of leeches all day.
It's just making a true summoner build. Taking the stuff like how it's called, Vasilisa and
Widow
Weaver and Leech King, and as well either you take them in Pandora 2 or in Dreamer 1, or if you play in crazy places, you can take both of them in one list. To summon 6 models turns.
Oh yeah, that will be
with dogs.
Yeah, with dogs, of course, you need dogs. Yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun. I hope.
Yep. I hope I'll see.
I hope the people choke on trying to make this work. But okay, fair. So Leech is good. Bloodletting, yeah, cool. If a model has like black blood, then bloodletting is nice for pulsing out the damage. I don't see blood magic being so important because I mean
it's actually there's a second reason why it's much better in Neverborn, because you take it to Pandora and suddenly just ride it and your 1/3/5 becomes 3/4/3/5/7, which is very possible with Rider 2 where you have a lot of cards.
Fair.
Because of hemophilia trigger. Because if you don't know, if a model already have stunned, they can't choose to get another stun. They must suffer damage.
Yeah, but you need a card for that as well. So you.
Yeah, that's why I say that at least in Rider 2 it's pretty reliable.
Yeah. Huh. I'm not yet sold on this. So basically, we don't have the very big idea how to play this in Castor anyway.
Yeah, when there's a Castor, it's hard to find place.
Okay, fair.
Model is real good, but it's much better than the other faction.
Okay, so the grass is greener on the purple side this time. Fair. I think they deserved some love anyway. So. So let's talk about the leeches. They are 5 soulstone minions. They have the same I'll have what they're having thing, so they can actually make something heal if they do drink blood. They got latch on, they got penetrating stench, they got stealth, and they are movement 6 for some reason. Seem to be pretty fast leeches. Would you consider hiring those into a Castor crew?
I'm not sure, because they have no stats, but they're much better summons than hires. Even so, having a stealth in green is nice. But
consider this: it is a 6 movement stealth thing with latch on, which could possibly move a little bit more with his bonus action, and it can just summon more of this stuff. Isn't that like really good?
it's good, but you know who is also a 5-stone model with latch on? The Dapperlings.
Yeah, the Dapperling, yeah.
And I think outside of what we talk about, Dapperlings, as higher as Dapperlings, much better than the giant leeches. Unless you play some matchup where stealth is much more stronger than having demise eternal.
Okay. I mean, I think the selling point is that it's a self-replicating model. For an 11, you can target an enemy model that cannot resist, and you gain another summon leech. Granted, it only has 3 health when it comes in. Other than that, I don't know. I think the body slam action is kind of meh, and I dislike that it has a 0 4 against defense attack, which is even for a 5 soulstone model not really great.
Yeah, but they potentially can move into base contact with a bonus. But of course, it requires that model was damaged.
Yeah, but models that are less than half their health are mostly dead anyway. I think extra.
But bonus doesn't care about being half dead. It's 1 point of damage.
Yeah, fair.
Unlike other abilities from these models.
So it's the I don't need to flip something and move 3 towards a target. Yeah, okay, it's good. I'm still not sold on this as hires though.
Yeah, there's one more use for these things, but that's the same use for if they are summoned. Which is there's a really awkward thing in Castor 1 where sometimes you want to slap your own minion to put a ski marker anywhere, and you slap your blood vessel, and then it gets put too hard to kill, and you cry.
Yeah.
And these things you can actually kill.
Hey, you're just saying you don't care about those.
No, this is reasonable.
Okay.
Well, there's just finally models that you will kill and not be that much sad compared to other models in Keyword.
Okay, that is not a reason to hire it for me.
Yeah, but it's a reason to consider hiring Leech King to summon giant leeches.
Okay.
But yeah, they're not worth as hires, I think. Even though stealth is so sweet.
Yeah, I was trying to look at this and see if this makes Castor 1 more playable, but there seems to be like next to no synergy with Castor 1.
I just said it.
Yeah, sorry.
The Leech King has synergy with Castor 1, but I think Castor 1 is pretty bad, and Leech King being slow, 8 range model, has basically the same problem as Castor.
I mean, Castor 1 was sold to me as being very awesome lately in the German Discord, so I'm...
Who said this?
They said it. I believe it. If they say it, they are mostly right. But
okay.
That's
opinions.
Yeah, opinions. Yeah, okay. Opinions are opinions. Let's look at the last models we got for this podcast today, which are the new all-around versatile models that are not in a starter box. And the first we're going to look at is the fixed Azura, as we call it, and it's called Ezekiel. It's a 6 Soulstone Enforcer. So who's gonna say something good about this model before I sold it up?
Everyone.
No. Yeah, it just first model in the book for us, probably, because every crew can take it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad that probably Qucikitt is almost power capped by this.
Yep.
The only place where I think Gravedigger still will be worth it is Magwarning 2, just because of how synergetic he can be with RRR. And if you put on him Killer Instincts, so he can stay at the safe range of 8 inches and get a card and a stone reactivation. Because digging a corpse on bonus helps with that. And that's the only problem.
You say that, but Ezekiel has intuition. He stacks a big card. You hit healing energy, you remove a ski marker somewhere, and you draw that card.
Yeah, the problem is that Ezekiel can fall down a bit in his movement, while the digger can stay up on the safe range and still keep up with the crew.
Okay, so what kind of model is Ezekiel after all? What would you take it for?
Well, you take him for 2 reasons. He's first of all zombie apocalypse, which is why he's a fixed Azura, because he has Crow built in.
No, he has Crow built in. Like he doesn't have to like stone for it, or you don't have to have the Crow. And you
don't need to use his intuition to summon.
That is the part that annoys me the most about this model, that he has intuition and they still build the Crow into his action. And it's like, why? I mean, there's a consequence in model design there. But okay, cool.
Well, he doesn't have an insane trigger switch, which is why Azura is so sad to not have.
But even with the trigger built in, even then she wouldn't be insane. She would just be really good.
So Tom actually kind of insane. Sometimes, but I think Azura would be great if she could build in crows for every action, not just summoning.
Okay, now we are in dreaming wonderland.
Yep.
Okay. So
and the second part that's really great about Ezekiel is hidden energy, which is ranged hidden, which much welcomed in our faction because it doesn't care about who you are.
Yeah, that is one of the few actions that don't care about who you are, where you're from. Cool.
Actually, it's not just about Ezekiel. I would rather add that that's probably the best part for Resurrectionists in this book. That finally all our keywords that we had awkward problem of not having a universal healer, because they have a lot of types of models in them, like Tormented, where you have both undead and just ghost without types. Same for Revenants. They didn't have healers before, and now we both got a universal healer in face of Ezekiel. And also all those keywords got their own healers in the keyword in face of Kari and Ghost Eater, and same for our poor girl, Strange Lady.
Yeah, great. Now Razes have all the healing. I'm thrilled. Pretty good. Quickitt, do you have any idea what else to say about this model?
Some cute stuff is that the depth of gratitude on healing energy is inbuilt. You can use it on an enemy model to have it remove a ski marker.
Or suffer 2 damage.
Yeah, but that's only if it cannot. And then fresh meat is quite nice because you can do it on your own model, and then it helps your unpack. I think any crew that likes to hire a mindless zombie has to scratch itself behind the ears if it's not better to hire Ezekiel instead.
Yeah.
And the question is, can you make proper use of a 4 soulstone effectively model? The answer is probably yes, but there are cases like in the Jan Lo list that I mentioned before, where if you hire Ezekiel instead of a zombie, you go down to 2 or 3 soulstones.
Yeah.
And then it gets dicey, but maybe still doable with the soulstones recycling of the ghost lights. So we'll have to see. But this model overall looks pretty splashable in a lot of crews.
Yeah. I mean, a 6 soulstone versatile healer would be the dream of basically every faction, I guess. I mean,
yep.
Summoning.
Also,
yep.
My biggest selling point of this model that some crews that for which in past it was awkward to find corpses to set up nasty double boss ritual. can now do it thanks to Ezekiel, and not just hire Digger who will be useless scheme runner for them. Most of all from this crew, I mean Tormented, Urami again, especially Kiraitu, and Castor. Because even after you do your setup and you don't care about zombies later, you still can heal in these keywords, and it's much appreciated in both of 3 of them.
Cool. And and you get all the zombie models that are styled after like mass murderers from movies, which is also nice.
Yep.
So sadly, I have not looked at the models before this, so I can't comment. Awesome.
Really sweet.
Yeah. I'm probably not that informed. I would probably not identify them correctly anyway. So let's look at the last model at our new 10 Soulstone Enforcer construct, the old Hob. It costs 10 Soulstones. So let's see if the next 10 Soulstone model is actually probably worth 10 Soulstones. Quickitt, what do you say to that? Is it worth the 10 Soulstones?
Probably not. But there's a lot of card on this, a lot of text on this card, and he does a lot of stuff that is really nice. But I find it a bit hard to find a home for this guy, or like a bunch of synergy where he's actually really doing it. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff, right? With his push thing. What a lovely day! When he suffers damage, he pushes up 4 towards the model. So you charge it with an enslaved spirit or anything that is incorporeal, and then you move through it. I know the jury is still out on whether ignoring other models means other than himself, so he could also move through a non-incorporeal model. But most likely you're going to use enslaved spirit for this anyway. The corpse marker dropping is nice. The healing from corpse marker is nice. I find it very funny that he has Wicked in combination with territorial trigger in combination with construction claw. So with an aura of 3 around him, if you try to run away, he will smack you and put you anywhere else. Which is quite funny. I think hurl corpse on stat 7 in something like a Riva list where you can hurl her totems, or maybe even in McMorning if you have loaded up a zombie on 3 poison and you horrendous corpse into their face. There is a whole lot of fun stuff and a whole lot of like good actions, but ultimately this guy is 10 soulstones with 2 action points on reasonably defensive stats, but certainly not unkillable. Yeah. And I'm a bit like, can I really find a home for this guy? Because I like him, but he's almost there, but not quite. That's my opinion on this.
Okay. Yeah, he looks like a very likable model for the collection for sure. So let's talk through the back of card, because we basically heard nearly everything from front of card apart from armor 2. So back of card we got the construction claw, the Hoffman 2 attack action, we got her corpse, we got temper tantrum. I'm not sure, isn't temper tantrum on some other model already that I don't like?
Candy, right?
Yeah, Candy? I think I am pretty sure it's on Candy. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So it's a pulse for a TN 14 willpower on enemy models or gain slow, with nice triggers. That mentioned territorial is cool. This only needs a 5. And the bonus action is corpse picker, so remove any number of corpse markers within range. This model heals for +1 for each marker removed this way. And you can drop a ski marker on a tome. This needs a 5. Though the dropping corpses when taking damage and the corpse picker bonus reminds me a lot of the statue from the Thunders, the obsidian statue, I think it's called. Yeah. And that is a model that never worked for me. But then again, Sorry?
It never worked for no one.
Yeah, okay, maybe that I tried it at least 3 times. But I was pretty sure after the first game that it was going the way of all things in the end and stay home. So yeah, Resos at least have much more things to do with corpse markers. than Thunders have with scrap markers. So there's a piece of gain there. QT, do you have any use for this in a crew specifically, where you say like, yeah, that's the one I was always looking for?
Not in that context, but in some situations you can take it. Probably two use cases I can see is, first of all, we come back to Dr. McMorning too. In case if sewing up the construction clone new models is good, you might consider this model, especially because Armor 2 is not something that comes up in experimental keyword that often, so it can be a surprise tag, and sometimes these tags that has a built in place can be nice, but I think it would be very rare. It would be much more often if the stats on Hero Corps and Construction Call would be so top, I think. But at the current state, you only care about it if this built in place will do anything for you, like if you play on table with some hazardous in it. And maybe you can try to play it with Monitor, because Molly generally can support any out of keyword beater. And that's where the part about discussion for what lovely day comes up useful. If you treat that ignoring other models means other than old Hop himself, then you can charge with Molly 2, punch it, so it suffers damage first, moves 4 from Molly, and then you also move it 2 from effect that is built in her attack. And the second P you can also move another 5 inches, so you basically move this model with 11 inches in monster's activation, which usually do it already, but just for 7 inches. So What a Lovely Day combos very well with it. But outside of those two crews, I don't think I will ever consider this model.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe with some Mimi Riva one list, you can think about it, but nothing else.
I mean, it's kind of. I think it would be kind of funny to pair it with Ezekiel and a Gravedigger, just to have the corpse thing all day. But it's not gonna work. It's just like a fringe idea there. Yeah, sad. I kind of like the model design. He looks likable. He looks like I want to have him. But not sure.
Yeah, also probably the only reason why as well his bonus better than statues is because it has pretty nice trigger. But we still need to fish for tomes for it.
Yeah. I mean, you can put the Whisperer on the model, and then you can.
But it's just 5 tomes, so you'll be fine. Maybe to cheat it sometimes.
I mean, it's definitely worth the 12 soul stones.
Of
course. Okay, very good. So that's the old hop. So probably also not worth this 10 soul stone investment, because you get so much for 10 soul stones in Resurrectionists.
Yeah, that's true.
He's very close to being worth it, though. It just takes a single good context where you can put him in.
Yeah,
and he will be worth it.
I mean, this is like 1 week. No, yeah, this is 1 week after the release of the book, so I think we're gonna see uses of basically every model, some more, some less. But it seems hard to justify from the first look how I would do that. And McMorning too. If I read there's a corpse marker, you gotta think McMorning 2, or you're gonna think Seamus. Isn't he kind of nice in Seamus 1, where you just walk on the other side and then he drops all the corpse markers you need to double shoot?
But you need the corpse marker first.
No, I mean if he
and also a point must punch it. Oh, you mean for her corpse, but
no, you can punch it yourself.
But the rain corpse works only.
Oh no, it's from an enemy model. Yeah, okay.
If that would not be enemy model, then McMorning would loot the shit out of this guy.
I misread.
Not even
I misread this. I'm sorry. Yeah, because I was like, okay, this is the corpse marker wallet we all needed, but it isn't. Okay. Sad.
Yeah, if it wasn't enemy model, it would be a much better model.
Okay, so let's do the resume of what we talked about. All in all, with the new book, do you think Grethers gained in strength or lost in strength, or is it basically all the same? And which keywords do you think won the most out of the ones we talked about?
Overall, I think we have four winners probably. First of all, actually, all masters kind of won from Kane and Ezekiel, as we already said.
Okay, yeah, fair.
But if you look at us models, then as I already said, the biggest winner probably is Kirai 1. I think Oscar and Ferryman will be great to fit on both in Kirai 1, and Ferryman will be great for Kirai 2, as always pick. Patch combo maybe sometimes we'll see play with Kirai 2, just to surprise your opponent at least. And as already told, Qucikitt also might be a pretty spicy take to help with high resource generation. The second best winner is McMorning, who got a great keyword model.
He got everything.
And yep, and he is like Molly also loves to take out of keyword stuff a lot, so he can try to find some place for models like said, Alhop, which is maybe the only master who loves him the most. And same for Oscar, who is fine, but I think there's better takes. At least important considering how much resources he can generate.
Yeah.
But maybe Oscar can be put even at McMorning 1 just to have one more useful card draw.
So we got Kirai and McMorning.
Yep, and both keywords that gained Ghosted.
Yeah.
They did also pretty nice.
Okay, so yeah, 4 out of 9 seems like the same as it's a bit like what we talked about with the guild thing. That seems to be.
And actually, Seamus always win. So
yeah.
So 5 out of 9.
Here's my take on this.
Yeah.
What are the actual Resur top masters? What is the stuff that actually wins tournaments? Currently it is Seamus and Reva, and McMorning is very close. Did Seamus win? Yes. Both versions of Seamus won. Seamus 2 got a lot of new tech. Like at least half of the models are usable in his keyword, and it's up to grasps what is the actual best list. Seamus 1 has also got a few more tools. Notably Sidekick and notably the Dapperlings. And then McMorning got a lot, which I think will put him on the level of Seamus and Reva.
Okay.
Reva did not get a ton, but she also, I don't know, her list is kind of sort of set in stone, and the way of playing, I don't see much that she's contested much by other keywords.
Okay, fair. So
I'll maybe say hot take, but McMorning 2 already was on level of Seamus compared to how versatile on tournaments he is. And outside of how Riva dominates some Euro places, I think he is much better at scoring any pool than Riva. But I guess it just depends on where I play.
Yeah, fair. I mean, so far we have seen the UK Nationals won by Riva, and since then it's kind of given that Riva is like the strongest thing. And
it's not just UK Nationals. Jamie won a year of literally almost every tournament he joined.
Yeah, but that is one meta.
Radek also won a lot of tournaments in UK with Damien.
Yeah, and I think it's very hard to like generalize this from one meta, because I could do this from my own, and I don't, but I will be never sure if I can. That's all I'm saying. So I I treat the Reva wins with respect they deserve, and I think it's a very great master, but I don't think that Reva 2 would auto-win every tournament if we pool all the metas together and say,
of course not.
Yeah, so...
I think this is a bigger part of discussion about Reva is that she has definitely an NP mechanics, and that's the biggest part that hurts people, not the fact that she can play just any pool, because she can, and there are matchups that she hates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, fair. So who got left? Who got left out the most?
Ole.
Castor?
Oh yeah, Castor kinda, but
Okay.
I agree.
Molly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think is the most. Castor more happy by getting Ezekiel than Molly, I think.
Yeah, so you think Molly should have gotten something that would be more useful to her keyword?
No.
Well, if we just had changes for Strange Lady, having a situational pick for obey model would be nice. Especially since you can teleport with Kruligans to her. But outside of that, I think it's fine, it just needs a much needs rework, because Keepsake Strangers at this rate can't keep up with Kruligans.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanna say one thing.
Okay, sure.
Molly, if you look at her Longshank stats, and I know I'm going to bring up stats, and stats are somewhat unreliable, but Molly has, since GG4, 80 recorded games, and that's a reasonable sample size. She is at almost a 70% win rate.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's almost solely off the back of Kruligans being ridiculous for 4 Soulstones and Archie being a good model.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then something to add to the discussion, Molly 2, although she has only 20 games recorded, which is not a good sample size, Molly 2 is often seen as being a pretty weak master, and she is still on like 65%. And that leads me to believe that the real issue here are the Kruligans and Archie. And as long as those models are as good as they are, Molly doesn't need much to be competitive, but it also means that the new models like Keepsake Stranger and the Strange Lady are not going really to find their place in those lists.
Yeah, but she already got the weird Enforcer model with the last release with the titles. How's it called?
Yeah, PS also wasn't great.
Noxious Nephilim. Outside
of Archie being good and Kruligans being insane, it's not that other models in Q are just outshined by them. They're not the best compared to other stuff. Rogue Necromancy outside of According to is okay-ish at best. You can help it moving with Molly 2, but in Molly 1 it's pretty sad. Model that says bring me slot or I will do nothing for you. Marshall sometimes good because the summons are always great, but being an Enforcer summoner is pretty bad. Philip also needs love.
Yeah, the
and same for Bats kinda needs love, but at the same time they have that stupid combo that Carnage came up. Yeah. Yep. Rebel Rise love, but I think sadly nothing much can save Brawly minions in this edition. Unless they cost 8 stones.
Yeah, and are called Visceras. Fair. Or ranked.
Or Hanged, or Centauri. Or other models for 8 stones that
are basically enforcers that you can take twice.
No, I mean, yeah. Minion that costs 5 or 6 and the only role is to deal damage generally tends to be bad.
Yeah. But yeah, we gotta wait another year for those. I think that the keyword design of the Forgotten Keyword by now is kind of weird. We got like a lot of 10 Soulstone models. You got 3 10 Soulstone models. and Archie, which is a 9 soul stone model. I don't think that most keywords have so many models that cost that much and are honestly not that useful for the keyword in general. So yeah, I would like to see. I would like to see at least a part rework of the keyword. I know that Kruligans are great, and I agree with the stats, but I think this is off the back of people who had great success with Molly in GG2, and who said,
Yeah,
"Oh,
also-
look, this is GG4.
No,
We're just
it's-
gonna whip it out again."
Yeah, exactly. These stats are from GG4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know,
the
I
main
know.
point is, Molly is very GG dependent, and we see Blossom mainly because the GG changes.
Yeah.
She suffered from last GG, and this is very good for her.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It's like the people that were successful in GG2 are looking at GG4 and say, "Oh, that's a spot for Molly. Let's put her out again." And I agree, it's hard to play against her. But yeah, that is okay. Other than that, I think Transmortis basically stayed like unchanged.
It's the same.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
That is,
Yeah.
Because there's, strangely enough, there's the only keyword that benefits the less from gaining Ezekiel.
Yep.
Because they already love Slot too much to give up on him compared to other keywords.
yeah. I don't know, Jack seemed to have gained stuff, but I need to put this to the test.
Yeah, I think he got nice options, but the only question what you drop to put them in.
Yeah.
Well, Jack is currently just not very good at all as a master, neither version really. So I
Yeah.
hope these new cards bring him up there, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I also highly doubt it. I mean, I want to see the return of Jack 1, but this GG. I mean,
Jack 1 probably not, but
Nah.
Jack 2 may still play.
I mean, even last GG, Jack 1 wasn't much of a thing because of too many ping mechanics. So I think adding models to the keyword won't save that master. And yeah, Jack 2 might be more playable now, but I also highly doubt that he will rocket up the ranks. Yeah, interesting. So guys, thank you for the discussion. Absolutely enjoyed it. And yeah, for all of you listening at home, thanks for listening in. Subscribe to the channel for more episodes, and I'll see you next time round with the next faction. So everyone, say bye to our listeners and have a nice evening.
Bye.
Bye.